Took a hike up the Wasatch last week, get a peek at life on the other side. It's that time of year when Thanksgiving has long been digested, and we prepare for old holiday traditions to take over almost by rote. Shopkeepers are dressing their windows with kitsch. Visions of sugar plums hold us in rapture as the Nutcracker continues to be habitually performed right on schedule since it was first introduced by George Balanchine in 1954. Took a hike up the Wasatch last week. So you can tell it's a firm American tradition that you can count on, like department store Santas, the Salvation Army ringing its dinky bell, and Orrin Hatch running for Senate. These are things we can count on. But even Ballet West will retire its Nutcracker stage set and costumes after 25 years. But that's nothing for Orrin Hatch. He will continue to wear the same chiseled facelift and deliver the same line that this will be his last run for office. We've imposed a new rule in my house: no discussion of Donald Trump before bedtime. I recommend it. Trump, it turns out, is stronger than Xanax, Ambien, and Benadryl rolled into one. And he's not even president yet. Oh, man. But you know, our country is really so divided, it's almost funny. It's no longer red states and blue states, conservative and liberal, populist and establishment, but now we've got kind of a social media divide. Twitter cracked down on people doing hate speech on race, religion, and gender, while a new outlet, Gab, feels that, well, we need to be fair and give white supremacy a voice too. So we now have Christian tech on the right and what's called big social on the left. This makes absolutely no sense because we all know Jesus was a socialist. Didn't he say, put down your white robes and hoods and follow me? Yes. Women, this is the latest now, women are finding themselves on different sides of the divide. There's the minivan majority moms. Have you heard of them? I mean, it's a legitimate group. They're pretending it's 1950 in America. They just love normalizing bigotry and misogyny. And then on the other side is the pantsuit nation. Looks like they may get some more members right here. Right now, they've got 4 million subscribers. Hillary may have lost the election, but boy, she sure made a fashion statement, didn't she? These women are the new activists whose mission is very clear: to foster diversity, figure out what to do with their anger, and learn to channel their fear into energy. But they have a problem. Pantsuit Nation is comprised of well-to-do white women. There is not a woman of color who'd be caught dead in a pantsuit. So if the election taught white liberals anything, is that if you want a multicultural society, you're going to have to get out of the pantsuit and get real. And when it got up to the top of the Wasatch, I had an intriguing view into Sakai, Japan. And it's really of some professional interest to me. Japan is feeling a revival of Buddhism, but many of the folks don't like organized religion. They're just not going to give up parts of their secular lives, which they have grown used to, and get their butts down to a Buddhist temple. No. So now, through the genius of Amazon.com, a Buddhist priest is a mere mouse click away. You want a little spirituality, you want a little ritual, you can order up a real bona fide priest who will deliver exactly what you want and do so cheaply. Because you won't have to pay any of the institutional overhead like the temple's lights and heat and mortgage. You don't have to pay money to keep the Buddhist Federation going. When you think about it, the way it operates, it's a lot like Uber. Deliver a good ride, a good rate, and there's no tipping. I mean, it's just really, really clean. So the Buddhist leaders in Japan are furious with this new line, this new product line, but they don't really have a good argument against it. In point of fact, Buddhism has been made accessible again to millions of people who've been estranged from their religion. So instead of going to the temple, it's like the temple comes to you. Very, very pragmatic. As I wandered back to the valley, I thought about the implications of this for our country. Part of me really likes it, but I worry if this concept will possibly expand the way Uber has expanded, where you have this new app called Uber Eats. You familiar with Uber Eats? The driver gets the food for you before he picks you up. Pretty nice deal. So I'm trying to imagine getting a call to do a memorial, and then they tell me to pick up some Chinese takeout on the way over. Not going to work. Basically, American religion is less about individual spirituality and more about, well, making sure that your friends see you in church praying and singing, for how else are they going to know that you are a good person? So you got to be there. And frankly, I prefer the group thing, doing Christmas Eve with hordes of people, singing carols, lighting candles. That's a lot better than showing up at someone's house with a candle and stopping off along the way to bring them a pizza. So it goes to show you once again that Utah is the one place you have to leave in order to discover just how much you really love it. The offering will now gratefully be received, and every penny of that offering goes to these fabulous musicians.